Hi, my name is Samuel, and I help small business owners generate more revenue using AI solutions and systems and also breaking their mental beliefs. So in today's one, I had a discussion with a client not too long ago, and he was saying that he wasn't actually able to get customers. Now, for those that know, if you don't have a customer, you do not have a business. And that is something that at the end of the day, every single person needs to understand. This video is actually also inspired by Adetifa because I was listening to one of his videos and he was talking about the fact that leads solve absolutely everything, right? So usually your offer isn't actually the issue. The price isn't necessarily the issue. Even your website or any feature you're talking about isn't necessarily the issue. The main issue is that you don't have enough leads. And more leads solve almost every single business problem. And I'll even go as far as to say it solves personal issues as well, right? So the main thing that people are facing when it comes to, the problems of an entrepreneur is that we're always complaining about these same things all the time. You're not getting enough sales. It's unpredictable income, low engagement, or actually slow growth. But 9 times out of 10 is not actually the business model. It's actually a game of volume. The question is, are you really doing the amount of volume that's required to generate your business the amount of income that it actually deserves? Are you doing the amount of work that's actually going to get you the results that you actually destined to achieve? And it comes down to this thing that if you were to actually fix the lead flow issue and you were to actually double down on getting more leads and acquiring more customers, you'll be so surprised that you will have a consistent stream of not only qualified leads, but if you have qualified leads, it means you're not chasing clients anymore. It means that you can finally raise your prices and finally you can build leverage and momentum because more leads means more conversations and more conversations, quality conversations at that equals more conversions. So in saying that, I always say that the solution always starts from here. It starts in your mind. And this is not a mindset or a motivational video at all. It is literally just talking about the simple principles that my mentors, very successful people have taught me. And whenever I'm watching successful people such as Alex Hormozi, I'm watching all these successful people like Iman Gadzhi and other people in their space and their niches, everyone always double down on the same thing because success leaves clues. It all starts in the mind. We need to understand that, again, you do not need to perfect your product. You need more customers. What do I mean by that? A lot of us have the idea that we are going to start our business and it's going to be the perfect business from the jump. We're going to start on day 1 and by literally day 2, there's going to be people rushing in to come and buy our services, whether it's a product or a service. And unfortunately, that is not true. And it will never, ever be the case. You will never, ever be at the destination before you do the work to work towards that destination. Anyone that is telling you that they were an overnight success, they're lying. Anyone that, for example, was able to blow and actually get that success that you are looking to attain without actually showing you all the work that they've actually done, in reality, you need to really ask yourself, did they do the work or did they actually make their money through other type of means? Now, in order to become the type of person that actually deserves the income that you are looking to attain, you need to become the type of person that is able to attain it through, again, getting more customers. Number 2, you do not need to a new niche and you do not need to create a new business. You actually just need new customers. A lot of us have this thing called shiny object syndrome. As soon as something comes out, okay, yesterday it was e-commerce. All of a sudden it became crypto. All of a sudden now with the AI space, and I'm partially to blame with this, we're capitalizing on the golden rush of AI. But outside of that, people are always changing their business every 2 seconds and wondering why they're not able to actually see the results that they actually deserve. You will never ever see the results you deserve if you do not stay consistent enough to actually do so. There is literally a video on my channel telling you guys that 6 months is all it takes to truly change your life. If you dedicate yourself to one path, if you dedicate yourself to one business, if you dedicate yourself to one niche and are consistently hitting the targets every single day, consistently doing the work, trust me, you are increasing the probability of changing your life. So you do not need a new business. You do not need a new niche. You need more customers. And as a result, you are going to be able to evolve in this area. Outside of that, again, doubling down on what I've said on the original part, but just I want to double down on this because whenever I'm having conversations with people, it's always a case of I want to make sure I get it right, or it's taking me time because I want to really make sure I'm refining my offer, or I want to make sure that the deal that I'm sending out or the proposal I'm sending out to my client is going to be perfect or anything like that. With all of these things, you need to understand that we live in a world that is moving so fast. It was already moving so fast, but now that we have AI as well, it is moving even faster. You can't actually waste the time that you're wasting right now trying to become perfect, trying to make sure that your offer is perfect, trying to make sure that your product or service is perfect before you test that out in the marketplace. I actually encourage people to go out there in the marketplace. Of course, you need the skills, you need the education, and you need to make sure you're actually doing the right thing. But I encourage people to actually go out and do the thing first. And then as a result, you're going to be able to refine everything else. And I'll actually talk about that more in depth a bit later. So simply put, you need to solve every single issue that you have simply by doing more volume. And funny enough, Grant Cardone actually talks about this. In 10X Rule, this is actually a book that really changed my life. I remember when I was 14 and I picked up this book for the first time, it literally transformed everything for me. It showed me not only that things are possible, but in order for me to attain the type of lifestyle that I want, in order for me to attain the type of income that I want, in order for me to attain the type of results that I want, I'm going to have to do one thing, do 10X more than anything that I think I need to do right now. It's simply put in these two things, able to break down the book and just summarize it. You should set targets for yourself that are 10X greater than what you believe you can achieve. So let's say, for example, if you want to, I don't know, achieve 10K per month. I understand that that is the golden number that everyone wants to achieve. But typically, whenever you achieve a number that is actually the number that you want, you think you're going to do the work. You think that you're going to actually show up every day and do what is required of you. But in reality, what is required of you to actually hit that is 10X more than what's actually required to actually achieve that target. And yes, I know it sounds crazy. For example, on my wall, literally right here on my vision board, it literally says in order for me to actually get the target that I want to hit 100K months. And I don't back down from that statement, because if I'm doing the work that's required to hit those 100K months, guess what? I'm going to be able to hit that 10K month anyways. If I do the work that's required to grow this YouTube channel and get more subscribers, such as, for example, I want to get to a point where we have 50K subscribers by the end of the year. It means I'm going to have to put in the work of someone that is actually working on a 500K channel. I'm going to have to upload more content. I'm going to have to get better at presenting. I'm going to have to deliver more value to you guys and also improve my editing. I'm going to have to do all sorts of work to get better. In this case, when it comes to business, in reality, leads could even solve that issue, because if I had more leads for my business, if I had more customers buying my product, if I had more revenue coming as a result of the leads, it means that I could actually outsource all those things and actually speed up my process in regards to all my other goals. Because I have the money now, I have the revenue now, I have the profit now, so I can double down and actually get to wherever else I want to go. Number 2, you should take the actions that are 10X greater than what you believe are necessary to achieve the goals. Massive action equals massive results. If you look at anyone and they're successful, you need to literally audit everything they do in their life. Understand that they are literally just doing more than you. It's not that they're better than you. It's not that they're more talented than you. It's not that they have anything that's more special than you. They're just doing more. They are just doing more. And the simple question you need to ask yourself is, are you doing enough? The biggest mistake that most people make in life is not setting the goals high enough. Taking massive action is the only way to fulfill your true potential. I'll definitely recommend that you guys read this book, 10X Rule. I'll leave a link down in the description so you can literally grab it from Kindle, whatever. Definitely do that. Now, the question is, how do you actually get more leads? There are only 2 ways to get leads. It's inbound or outbound marketing, right? So inbound, it means that you're creating content. It means that you're doing things like ads to attract people to you. And it also means referrals. Now, these tend to be better leads, and I put a star or a quotation mark there because people perceive it to be better leads, but it's because it required less work to actually acquire the lead than, for example, the next thing I'm going to talk about. In terms of it being better leads, right, you have to also realize that it takes an extreme amount of time to, for example, get your content to a point where people are now coming to you. They know, they like, they trust you. They are tuning into your content every single day. They're tuning into all the social media posts that you're actually generating. They're clicking on the ads because the ad copy is actually effective. They're clicking on the ads because the creative that you've actually created is actually effective. And also they're referring you because guess what? You're the key person of influence within the space. So they have no other option than to refer you rather than actually referring someone else as a stranger. Now, in saying that, that is very, very good. And of course, if you have the capability to do so, for example, myself, I have a small YouTube channel at the current moment, but we are growing it to the moon. And in saying that, by me doubling down on content, funny enough, the views that I'm getting right now, which is maybe a couple hundred views on my social media posts and even on these YouTube videos, you would be so surprised how many leads you can actually generate from that. I'm literally getting people hitting me up every single day saying, listen, mate, I love your video. Let's hop on a call. I love your video. How can you help me out in terms of this solution? I love your video. How can we hop in and actually do some sort of collaboration together? You'll be so surprised. So double down on those things. And whilst you're doubling down on those, we're going to also make sure we're doubling down on outbound. Things like cold DMs, things like emails, things like cold calling. The reason why we want to do that is because there's lower barrier of entry and it is very much simpler to actually attain. It doesn't require the amount of work that, for example, requires on the earlier where we're talking about inbound. But guess what? You are still able to actually get the clients as long as you are willing to put in the work. So realize that it's harder, but you will get the results. So sending out DMs on a consistent basis. Listen, you are going to attract clients. I literally showed one of my clients, right, when I was on a call, and even one of my boys as well that was running a business, that look, I created an automation that literally outreaches to people on my behalf on Instagram. It literally sends out messages maybe once every 30 minutes or so that my Instagram account doesn't get banned, right? But look, it's been running for the past 5 days. In the past 5 days, I have 5 new clients, 5 new potential clients for my business. With this automation that I've literally built, and me doing the work and making sure that the system is actually there, I've generated 5 new leads out of doing what? Just doing the work. And the thing is that we need to understand that we need to stop complaining and simply just do the work. Alex Hormozi, I'm going to reference him so many times in a lot of these videos because I genuinely believe he's one of the best entrepreneurs that we have in this current space. That's not only a great entrepreneur, but he's also sharing the insights that for people like myself and yourself that are growing our businesses. He's sharing the insights and actually showing you what is actually needed in order to do that. I remember there was a time where, for example, I was a personal development junkie, for example. I'll make sure that my morning routine was on point. I'll make sure that I had a night routine. I'll make sure that I had all these type of things. Alex Hormozi then comes out on social media and says, listen, mate, I didn't do none of that and I still made 8 figures. You know what I mean? I believe it's even 9 figures actually that he made. Do you know what I mean? So in saying that, it's not necessarily about all these fluff and all these things that sound good. It's about just doing the work. Alex Hormozi said, you cannot be busy and broke. You pick one. You can't be busy and broke. Anytime, right, someone tells me that they're too busy and what they're producing per month is not reflective of that busyness, are you really being efficient with your time? Are you busy or are you being productive? There's people that are working less than you, or they're working to the same capacity, but they're working on more efficient tasks. They're leveraging AI. They're leveraging all these things that, for example, we talk about on this channel, and as a result, they're making more money. We need to make sure that we are not being in this whole mindset of, oh, I'm busy. I can't do the outreaches. I'm busy. I can't actually create the content. I'm busy. Oh, it's too long. Oh, it's too hard, etc. Because guess what? If you are too busy, then you might as well pick this. Be broke. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being broke. I remember it got to a point, right, where, for example, I grew up in an environment where all we knew was, and of course, my parents did a very, very good job, etc. But all I knew within the area that I grew in was basically poverty, and the only way to get out of it was by means that are not necessarily the best way to kind of go. Now, in saying that my parents have experienced all the harsh realities that people around me have experienced, I said to myself, listen, I'm tired. I'm tired of being broke. I was tired then, I'm tired right now. I need to make sure that I'm getting a million. You know what? It's even to a point, right? And again, I don't want to go too much off topic. I want to give you guys the point. And again, you're able to get this value, right? But if you were to literally look at how much money was in the world, you have to realize that there's so much money in the world, so much so that every single person can actually be a millionaire. There is so much money in the world that every single person can have 1 million to their name. The question you need to ask yourself is, where is my million? Every single morning I wake up and I think to myself, where is my million? Why have I not hit a million yet? Why have I not achieved that million in my bank account yet? Why have I not achieved a million in revenue, eventually invested into assets to a point where it become profit and I'm actually a millionaire? It's simply because you're not doing enough work. And that's what I'm telling myself. And as I'm telling myself and I'm creating this video, obviously sharing the game with you guys is also a reminder for myself as well. In saying that, it's quite simple. It's easy foundations that you need to build. And Atomic Habits usually talks about this. It says, for example, that if you are able to do small tasks every single day, you eventually become the type of person that is the type of person you aspire to be. Small, consistent steps is key. If you were literally just to do the thing, right, where I'm going to talk about a bit later on, by waking up and sending out those messages. Whether you task yourself to send out, I don't know, 30 to 50 messages a day, it literally takes less than an hour to do so. You can do it when you're on your journey to work, on a train, or you can do it, for example, when you are in the gym, on a treadmill, or anything like that. Just do the work. Build small, consistent steps. Make sure you're tracking it using trackers and things like that, which, of course, I'll document how to do. And outside of that, make sure you're keeping yourself accountable. Now, how you keep yourself accountable is by using gamification. You literally apply the attributes of a game into your life and say, listen, if I do A, B, and C tasks, I'm going to level up my XP in this certain type of area. If I'm hitting the cold DMs, if I'm hitting the emails, if I'm hitting the cold calls that I need to hit, guess what's going to happen? I'm increasing my XP and my likelihood and my probability of making more money. Keep yourself accountable. And outside of keeping yourself accountable, shameless plug, I actually run a school community where I teach people how to implement AI into their business and scale effectively using AI. A lot of these tasks I'm telling you guys right now to do, you can actually automate fully through AI. So for example, instead of using your own time to do it, or instead of paying a VA to do it, you can literally use AI to implement. If you're interested in that, of course, the link is down in the description and feel free to join the free community. If you want more access to me, where, for example, we can have one-to-one calls, where, for example, you have access to even more of my knowledge and more access to myself as well, then, of course, there is a paid community as well, where, of course, just literally hit me up in my DMs and I'll send you the link to it, right? So in terms of that, you either keep yourself accountable by, number one, keeping yourself accountable, of course, or number two, by joining communities to keep yourself accountable as well. So with the compound effect, more leads don't just give you sales today, they build a pipeline. So more leads equals these things: more data, better marketing, more testimonials, and more authority. Now, guys, that's practically it for today. I was going to play you this video, but of course I don't want to get a copyright. But literally just type this in. Pick up the phone and start dialing Wolf of Wall Street. For those that have not watched the video, guys, pick up the phone and start dialing. Simple. See you guys in the next one.